Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Hello, how are you? How are you? Hello. That was the translation. I share with you topics pertaining to the science or the scientific miracles, if you will, in the Quran. Today's topic, a very important one, will be about the expansion of the universe. So, as usual, we rehearse to you a verse by way of introduction verse, which introduces the general topic of the scientific miracles in the Quran. And afterwards, the second verse we rehearse is actually to do with our subject, with our topic of the day, which is the expansion of the universe. And then the third one is in a nutshell verse, just to conclude the actual subject. So today, as we said, we're talking about the expansion of the universe, and it's an extremely important subject, topic, and you will find out why. So let us start with our introductory verse, which is Fussilat 41:53. That means the 41st surah in the Quran, and 53 is the number of the verse, which in fact the second word in this ayah, in this verse, is a homonym. And I have to explain what a homonym is, don't I? A homonym is in fact an extinct dinosaur which used to live on seafood, on a seafood diet. And you all know what a seafood diet is, don't you? The seafood diet is actually, you see it, but you don't eat it. And that's why it's called the seafood diet. And that's why this dinosaur went extinct. He never ate anything. And if you believe that, you believe anything. In fact, the true meaning of the homonym is a word or a term which has two meanings or more than two meanings. And the second word, term in the ayah is ayat. And ayat means, ayat is the plural form of ayah. And ayah means a verse, such as a verse in the Quran or in the Bible, and it also means it also means a sign, just such as a sign, a scientific miracle, which we discuss. So let us rehearse our first ayah, which is سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. سنريهم آياتنا. We shall show them our verses, our signs, our revelation, the Quran. We shall show them the verses في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم. So we shall show them our verses in the heaven and within their own selves, meaning us, within our body. Within those حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. Until such time that it is evident, it is manifest, it is clear to them that this is the truth. What is the truth? آياتنا. So the truth is our verses, our signs, our Quran, our revelation. سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. This was our first usual introductory surah. Now we'll speak about the expansion of the universe. It was first in 1842. It was an Austrian physicist called Christian Doppler. This was in 1842. He did not discover the expansion of the universe, but he was the first to do the groundwork. So indirectly led others to this discovery, but he did the groundwork. He actually discovered that when the sound waves distance themselves from the observer, their frequency is lower. And equally, when the sound waves come nearer to the observer, their frequency is higher. This was called the Doppler effect, was referred to as the Doppler effect. And the Doppler effect does not only apply to sound waves, but it applies to all types of waves, including light ones, the light ones. So that was 1842, Austrian Christian Doppler. And in 1822, there was a Russian physicist and mathematician called Alexander Friedman. He actually used Einstein's field equations to work out and to provide evidence that the universe is expanding. So we could safely attribute the discovery to the Russian Alexander Friedman, because he is the first one who worked it out and said the universe is actually expanding. Afterwards, in 1924, there was a Swedish astronomer called Knut Lundmark. He made a discovery. You could call it a landmark discovery in English, as it was called Lundmark, landmark discovery. And landmark means important discovery. So he actually provided the first observational evidence that the universe is expanding, meaning he saw it through a telescope or something, and he provided the first observational evidence of the expansion of the universe. And it was in 1929 that the American astronomer Edwin Hubble, he used a giant telescope, or giant for the time, a giant telescope in 1929, and he actually saw the expansion of the universe. He observed it. And he noticed that all distant galaxies, they call them distant, but the galaxies are distant, aren't they? So the other galaxies, they're all moving in different directions away from our galaxy. Proof beyond reasonable doubt about the expansion of the universe when Edwin Hubble saw it. But a question I ask myself, why are all galaxies moving in different directions away from our galaxy? Do we stink? When is the last time you had a shower? Try washing 5 times a day in one day. Maybe that would solve the problem. That was your entertainment. Now, back to Turkey.